In this video, we're going to be looking at the most insane weapons in modded Terraria. Fargo Souls mod have always been known and labeled as the hardest and most challenging mod in modded Terraria. It is also known as the mod with the most overpowered of gears due to the addition of souls that are insanely hard to craft. But what if I tell you it's more than just those? It's more than just an NPC that sells boss spawns, or a new insanely hard difficulty that causes massive modding. Because this mod also adds a lot of interesting, goofy, and new unique stuff, like new bosses and a lot of interesting weapons. Some even references other games like Minecraft and Ender Dragon. And in this video, we're going to be focusing on the weapon subject. Most of these mod weapons are deadly as they deal a lot of damage to enemies. But do you guys know what else is deadly? Hackers on the internet trying to get your data. But thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark VPN, you can prevent that. Surfshark keeps your online identity safe by encrypting all of the information sent between your device and the internet, keeping your data protected. You can also change your location with Surfshark, allowing you to bypass geo restrictions and unblock websites. One useful example is accessing and unblocking content from streaming services like Netflix. But most importantly, Surfshark helps to secure your internet experience, encrypts your online data, masks your IP address, and helps to secure your personal information when you use public Wi-Fi. Use my code and get 83% off plus extra 3 months for free. If for any reasons you're disappointed, they do offer 30-day money-back guarantee, so it is risk-free. The link is in the description down below. Thanks Surfshark, now back to the video. Some of Fargo Souls weapons are pretty goofy, like this gun that shoots destroyer worms. Shooting the destroyer with destroyers. I wonder which one is the real destroyer. Some of its summoner weapons look cool too, like this stuff that turns Duke Fishron into your minion, which you can use alongside with a manual Terra Prisma. As you can see, many of the weapon designs are inspired by base vanilla bosses, like this Duke Fishron inspired rocket launcher that shoots massive exploding nukes at the faces of your enemies. Speaking of enemies and bosses, I love it when Eridanus, a champion boss in Fargo Souls, start doing his time stop attack. It is insanely cool and reminds me of Dio from JoJo. But funnily enough, I think shooting down a massive Lord of the Moon using a humongous railgun laser cannon is more believable than stabbing it with a spear made out of sand itself. I very much love this scientific railgun weapon. I love the feeling of blasting a huge death beam onto my enemy's butthole. Another unique thing about this mod, if you enable its special difficulty, the Eternity mode, it will transform the original vanilla bosses into a stronger and harder version of themselves. Looks like the Corruption and Crimson bosses color palette got swapped. And not gonna lie, Ether Worlds with Crimson color palette looks so damn disgusting. While Brand of Tulhu looks awfully similar to the Hive Mind from Calamity Mod. However, my most favorite one must be the Betsy rework. They literally turned Betsy into an Ender Dragon from Minecraft. How amazing is that? Or how this mod turns Golem into a literal Sans from Undertale, complete with new unique attacks that utilizes the temple, which is honestly quite a rare thing to find in mods. And not gonna lie, Eternity Mode Empress of Light gonna make me act up, especially with those beautiful attacks and alluring sprite. She do be a baddie. As you can see, this mode does provide tons of crazy and goofy content for us to play, like fighting a huge Hydra Dragon in an underground snow biome, or fighting a giant mechanical squirrel with an Ender Dragon flamethrower that shoots dead flames, or fighting a literal biblically accurate angel on the hallowed biome that is able to blast you down with holy beams and apparently bees. I think the developers of Fargo Souls mod are big fans of the bullet hell genre, because all the bosses and the weapons are highly inspired by bullet hells. There are so much bullet hell aspect in this mod sometimes feel out of Terraria and more like Toho. But none of what I've just talked about is the star of today's show. Not even the overpowered Moonlord infested tentacle Tulhu head sticked onto a flail aka Phantasmal Leash of Tulhu. The star of today's show is none other than the Penetrator, the ultimate and strongest weapon in Fargo Souls mod and possibly the whole modded Terraria. It has many modes of attack to choose from. You can use it to dash around as a form of mobility, while also being invulnerable and leaving a trail of homing phantasmal spheres. You can spin it around you, spawning homing phantasmal eyes and reflecting all projectiles it hits. You can throw it and it will shoot out deadly laser death rays along its path. You can become a deadly spinning Beyblade, creating a pattern of phantasmal eyes that spins faster as it is held. Or you can spin it and throw it, turning it into a boomerang. But for sure, all of them deal devastating damage. My second favorite is the most simple one, where it shoots a gigantic death ray beam, which you can also rotate around you. But my most favorite one is the mode which you can dive down, falling through platforms, and create a colossal explosion on impact. As it is an endgame weapon that is insanely hard to craft, it is obviously overpowered. Bosses and enemies get destroyed within seconds. No enemies even get a chance to survive a full attack from the penetrator. I really do feel like a final boss from Toho in Terraria with all of these attacks I'm able to unleash upon my foes. Especially this one attack that lets me spin around and unleash this circular phantasmal ice bullet hell. Let me know if you guys want me to make a full video on this monster of a weapon specifically. But for sure, we can all agree on one thing. The penetrator is perfectly balanced. Wait, you guys stayed this far? Well, I might as well give you guys an info on another hidden perfectly balanced weapon from this mod that you can get quite early in the game. Introducing the lightslinger, a ranged weapon that you can get by defeating Lifeline, a boss you summon on the hallowed biome during early hard mode. I understand getting to hard mode itself is already quite a hard challenge due to eternity mode. And don't expect the Lifeline boss to be easy either, but with enough patience and practice, it shouldn't be too hard. Sadly, I did not have enough patience, so I totally did not cheat and use Minecraft Ender Dragon to obliterate this budget biblically accurate angel. This weapon at first glance already seemed powerful, but might not be enough for a perfectly balanced candidate. Well, that's because you need to use enchantments to turn it into a balanced powerhouse it should be. With these enchantments that are fairly easy to craft, you obliterate bosses with ease. Using the lightslinger, Fargo Souls turned from being one of the hardest and most challenging mod of all time into a walk in the park, because this weapon shreds through HP like melting butter with a rocket engine. It's not too good against smaller enemies like cultists and moonlord, but it does very well against most of the enemies and bosses in game, because all of them are fairly big. Thank you for staying this far. Now you guys know what the true and real perfectly balanced weapon is in Fargo Souls mod. See ya!